You're watching History and Leisure. Be sure to follow on Instagram, Threads, Bluesky, History_Leisure, as well as a Substack and my second channel, History and Leisure Echoes, where I post copyright-free footage and bonus material.
Starting with the King of Kings on this list, Silver Dollar City, the park that started it all. For the 50th anniversary of Fire in the Hole, they built a new one and established the Fire District. Some say that our Topper Track Outlaw run should go full steel with how it's running. The version does this before, I wouldn't be surprised if this happens by 2030. But I think I'll try and get a new coaster unless tariffs make that infeasible. PF Colas went out for a while, an invert. So I'm going to go with an Vekoma STC Family Boomerang package, replacing the original Fire in the Hole and the Opera House. I know Hershend loves their shows, but there's still an indoor theater in the park and could enclose dockside more, so kind of like the Paradise Theater at Sesame Place. But it's certainly indoor, but it's still exposed for guests and cast traffic. They don't want to scrap the Opera House and want something for families. Family Dino's Wonder Wheel proved well in that spot. Sister Park Dollywood started to convert their launch wooden coaster to just another iBox without inversion, but at least it's terrain coaster. I know another dream is a hyper giga for this park. The park did lose a thrilling launch coaster, and I think a premier launch on the central mountain would be nice. They decided to do a shuttle. It should be designed for like two trains like the Mr. Freeze coasters. But I was looking more at Full Throttle for inspiration. Although I don't think it needs to be inversion heavy. I know Tuskegee is not really this port of state, but a themed Tuskegee Airmen, since you have an aviation-themed area where the station would work. The reason I say premiere is Alpine Fury. And if Alpine Fury hits, which sounds like it is, that'd be a good bang for their buck to be a very terrain-themed oriented park, and even it would be restricted to trains. After that, it's between Mystery Mine and Tennessee Tornado, which goes next. The long-out flexion of the Palace chain, and before that was the title of the whole company, has been at a crossroads with Steel Curtain, which now shares a North American inversion record with the aforementioned Alpine Fury. The park is also home to three classic wooden coasters, including the Mobius Loop Racer, the original Skyrocket, and a standout hyper in Phantom's Revenge. If Steel Curtain works out this year, I think we are safe from a Zoom and liberal purge. There's a drop down in Phantom's Revenge final turn. I really want that back. So that, and I think the park needs a true family coaster. So let's see about a family boomerang. If Steel Curtain is a miss, then Persian do an STC family boomerang combo over there. America's oldest amusement park has fought for the past decade to maintain the historic Wildcat coaster up front of the park despite the corporate's opinion. They also have a new musical terrain Woody receiving Time Track from GCI, plus two off-the-shelf thrill coasters and a kiddie coaster. I say after 30 years of operation, Zoomerang is done and we get a Vekoma suspended family coaster, just so we can make a bit more punchy and special. For Kentucky Kingdom, Hershend made some odd moves with this park since acquiring in 2021. Maybe that's a fair word, but hey, they added some inbred, that's good. Remove T3, that's a win. Renaming Storm Chaser and Thunder Run to Wind Chaser and Woodland Run.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
They have a mini Phantom's Revenge and Lightning Run and a family Woody and Kentucky Flyer. I know Ed Hart had a thing against launch coasters, but how about a Vekoma family launch interacting with the Rapids? Possibly a straddle coaster, maybe something like Big Bear Mountain on a smaller scale. I was thinking they moved Eye of the Storms to the station over in the meadow area would also make sense and use T3's pod for the water park. If they're really going to use that Batman arena, I could see them demolishing that and the Picnic Grove and making a smaller area with that arena there. So they can do like an aviation team in the background, Kentucky Flyer, the Ferris wheel, and Skycatcher. Eventually, Iowa was the last park that Park as Renews acquired before this recent acquisition by Hershend. And that was last little bit, there was the flagship multi-looper in Monster and a spinning coaster in Phoenix, removing their old Hopkins looper for its 3-spin. The last little thing they got going was a Vekoma family coaster lug from Combi. And this is also on top of two true wooden coasters and a cousin of Far in the Hole built by CCI in the 90s. With the investigation complete in the Rapids incident, I wouldn't be surprised what happens either way. The park needs an invert and a launch coaster. The park already has a Garcon Infinity. Let's get an inverted Infinity. This would be first for the state and keep Lost Island on their toes. Idlewild is a classic amusement park in the chain. They got kiddie goes from one, the Boomers FECs in 2020 has yet to assemble it. It's from 99, so I think it's a 50-50 shot if it gets rebuilt, but it would fill a gap in the park's lineup. This park is very quaint and very family-oriented, so I wouldn't see any major coaster for a while. So, like, if I scrap this kids' coaster, they're just going to get another one, cheap off-the-shelf clone. Anyways, moving over to Storyland, home to an Arctic-themed Morgan coaster from the 80s and a fairly modern wooden coaster from Gravity Group called Roarosaurus. Roarosaurus needs a friend. If it becomes a suspended coaster. That's it. That's the thread. Hershend dropped the ball on arm seeing Cheetah before COVID. With the loss of Cheetah is just a dynamic duo of Vekoma Boomerang and SLC to see a family rides and animals. Being stuck in purgatory, being in the middle of nowhere on the verge of Orlando in the humid Georgia summers, but a mock power splash or another water attraction replaced our sky coaster. Add a strong family thrill to a park that could desperately use it. Like, maybe we could see the combi thing Adventureland did. As for Dutch Wonderland, their probably number one is re-theming the Cartoon Network Hotel. But I can easily see a water park expansion there in the future more likely than another coaster. It took them like 20 years, I think, between Merlin's Mayhem and their other two coasters. Yeah, so I think with like the flat ride game, it's kind of changing, and I'm trying to think about like scale. Like there's see whatever like they've been adding to like Wildwood Grove and some of the past years would probably be a good indicator of the because they might be looking to add to the other parks so they don't have them. That'll probably be just me on like family rides, and but yeah, tell me more what we think about like a flat ride game or even other coasters you could think of for these parks. Dutch Run is a little landlocked as well. That's why I wouldn't really feel comfortable thinking about another coaster, but I think they have a nice package there with a Woody, the Kitty, Classic Kitty, and the Invert. I feel like that's a good trinity for our family park, and that's why I even brought up for Storyland to say for today. So hopefully next content after this is Hershey stuff, but